Hi everyone, welcome back to part 3 of the Bluebell Woods. I'll just give you a little update of where we're at. Okay, so I've been working on the tiny one just to let you get an idea where we're going with it. This is it here. So I took away the sort of bold light that we had coming in here, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. So I'll just actually start this here. So what I'm going to do is this kind of greenery that's here, it's a bit bright and bold at the moment, so what I'm going to do is tone it down a bit more with my sap greens here, and we'll work a little bit more on the trees. What I've done, just to save a bit of time, I've went in and sharpened the tree trunks a little bit just at the tops here, and I'll show you how to put more lights and sort of warmth in the bit where the light's coming in. So we'll start with this bit first. We'll get a bit of sky in there now. Okay, so I'm still working with the same palettes. So I'm just going to work with a little brush at the moment because I want to keep this quite pale blue. So I'm just working with a little brush like that, and I just want to get some little bits of blue sky back in there. And I just need to watch because it might still be a little bit damp and there's a couple of little creamy bits in there. So I just want to take the sort of bold harshness off that, tone it down a little bit. So I only need a couple of little bits of blue and just sort of blend it in. And while I'm doing that, I'll put little bits of white too, because they might touch those wee sort of creamy bits. I don't want it going green. So that was just to give us an idea where our light source was coming in. I'm not finished with this bit yet, I'll go back to this. But I'm going to put another tree in here as well, so that'll camouflage it and a bit more foliage up there. So again, I'm just going to put some light in there now. So I'll go for the brush a little bit bigger. And as I said before, you won't see any light coming through it if you don't have any colour under it. So I'm working with my brush a bit dry now because I don't want to go in and pick up any undertones. What I'll do as well, just try and blend it in. Don't want it looking too streaky at the moment. A bit more blue. You're hardly going to see any of this up here. This is going to be covered with foliage, but it's just to keep the light coming in. Just realised there that was a lighter blue I had on that, that's how it wasn't working there. It's a good thing about oil paints, water-based oils, they'll stay wet for you, just to go back into your palette and lift them. Right, so that'll do that now. I'll go back to that and I'll put some more light and things in it later on. Okay, so I'm still going to use this bigger brush. It's got a little bit of white on it, but that's fine. And I'm going to now put some sap greens and lemons on here, make it a little bit warmer. So sap greens, a nice warm tone with the yellows, but this was quite a good base because it gives you a good base for these to sit on, so you'll see what I mean. I've got a tiny little bit of white on my brush, which I don't like when I'm using sap green. There's some colours that just get spoiled when you put white in them. Some colours are too rich for white, so sap green's one of them because it's got its own little pigments of lemon coming through it. I'll show you a wee bit. If I blend that a bit, see, looks a bit more lemony. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those greens that I started with as a base and just sort of mingle through them with the sap, and then I'll go for a little bit of yellow. See, sap can be nice and dark or it can be nice and light. Just depends on the way you apply it. Take it right up against your trees. I've already made the trees nice and sharp now, so I can just work behind them, but I can always go over them if I have to. So it's getting a bit lighter over here, so I'll start adding more yellow. And I'd like to bring these up just a little bit more, because sometimes the less of the sky that you see, the nicer the lights are. So I went over there quite high. This was very bold looking, this one. So I'm going to put lots of nice lemons. And I'm not going to clean my brush now, I'm just going to put some on a bit gentle like that. Make sure you get right up against the tree there. Now, with the lemon I can add a little bit of white just to make these a little bit lighter. Here and here, just at the very tops of them. Keep the sort of strong ones in here. So a little bit more white with lemon up there just to make them look a bit lighter. Putting the white down just gives your lemon a nice wee base there. Just make sure it doesn't go in front of your trees. That's worked out alright. So a bit more lemon. These will be distant so you can hardly see any detail in these. And make them up and down, they don't have to all look exact same. Just coming into the paler ones now, so probably what's left in my brush there should be enough for that there. And I can just lighten my brush to a lighter tone there now, just to get some extra lights. Just kind of make them look a bit more faded with that light source sitting there. Okay, so already that's camouflaging that light. So what I'm going to do now, I'm using a smaller flat brush, like a 1/2 inch, not even 1/2 inch, bit smoother. What I did with my trees, I put some raw umber, sorry not raw umber, that's what I was using yesterday. I found some burnt umber with blue to make them a bit stronger, just at the left hand side, the opposite side from the light. And the ones that's really totally silhouette, I just blocked them out, so I'll just go over these, making sure I've not put any of those wee bushes over them. So that's fine, they're still pretty wet. So what I did as well, we're going to show off the light source coming in here. So what I did there as well is I put a little bit of a red that's quite orangey, like a cadmium red. I'll show you that in my palette. That's it there, just a nice bright red. Mixed that with a little bit of burnt umber. Burnt umber's got red in it anyway. And I just added it to these to make them look a bit warmer, so I'll just show you. I shouldn't actually have to get any more brown, but there's probably brown on my brush. So just getting a little bit on there. And you can even add a little bit of the yellow ochre as well, just before it comes down into the light. And that's starting to show the light. And then when I get further down, I can add a bit of white with those colours that's still on my brush. And I could make that tree just a little bit thicker there. So I'm coming right down. So what I'm going to do is get a bit of the red and the yellow ochre and just sort of go on the edge of it there. So it looks lighter there at that side now, and you can see the dark at the left hand side. So that one's quite close to that. It might not have as much light on that one, but I will put just a little bit on it anyway. So you can start off with the yellow ochre and the white to start with, even just a couple of wee bits. So the light would have been coming there. Maybe not do it as light there, more lighter down here. So just where that light is there, it's quite extreme light. Make sure that one's really light. Put a bit more white. Putting it on sort of semi-dry like this anyway makes it look a bit more like bark. And another colour that's quite nice for getting in there is little bits of lilac. It's quite a nice sort of like that there. It's a sort of mauve. So what I'll do is I'll keep my light first. So just make sure it's going in line. I'll darken that one up there a little bit just to show you the extreme light and dark on the trees. That's something up. A little bit there, and that one's fairly light. But at the same time, you have to still keep them kind of sharp that you can see them. So I'm just using a little bit of my raw umber, and I'm just going down the side that's going to be dark. You shouldn't be looking for a really heavy line here, but you need something or you just wouldn't see them. So start off up there, quite solid, and then just sort of come down the side a little bit there, just after the light there. You can make the light quite gradual there. And then the same there. So it doesn't matter if some of the reds and that show up, all the better if it does. So coming down there, so this can be a little bit darker. And if you want it really dark, you can add ultramarine with your burnt umber and you get it really dark. See, like that. That's coming down a bit further. It's almost as if you're following that line. And sometimes you do pick up bits of light along the way, so just be careful with that. So you can now start to see the light hitting that bit, almost as if there's a line drawn down there. These ones are away in the dark, so they're further away as well, so you probably won't see that much light on those ones. So what I'll do is I'll just sort of graduate them a little bit more so that they're not too severe. And you can see the light hitting those ones. So this is a point where you can take the brown and the umber and just sort of sharpen the very edge of the left of them. And it's nice, you'll get that even better when it's a bit drier. If you like, you could do, this brush probably won't be as effective, but what you could do is take it, drag a little bit when your brush is a little bit drier. And it can almost look like silver birch. You can do these with a palette knife, but because these ones are so thin, it's probably best at the moment with a brush. Right, so that's that bit done. What I might just do as well, just before I go away from the greens, I'm going to get some sap and just get a few more of these a wee bit stronger in here. When you get these stronger, what it does, it shows up the light of those beside them. And they're nice and dark at the bottom, so that's good. Get a few more in here. These are all wee sort of finishing touches. You can go back and do these later on and you can spend as much time as you like on this, but it's really just to let us get on to the next bit. So that's fine, that can just be sort of blended in a little bit there. Sap green's lovely. So that'll do for that bit. Now I'm going to clean all of that. That's one of my favourite wee brushes for doing the bluebells, so I'm going to just give it a little wash and get as much of the green off as I can. You don't always get the colour off right away, but I'll get as much off as I can. And then what I'm going to do is just lift up a little bit of white. Once you've cleaned the brush, the hairs all kind of open up a bit like that, so it's quite nice for doing these. So just go up there. And that gives a nice wee finish to that. But just be careful that you don't touch on the wet paint. So we can go back and do some of them. It's just ever so slight, it's just like a little line away at the end. And probably up to about there is as far as you want to go really. You put a tiny wee bit just on the top of that one, because that's sort of going into the dark bit now. So with the same brush, I'm going to just, with the white on it, just dip into the blue now and just make sure you get nice wee darks, so that the light would be sort of coming in there, so this side would just be a wee bit darker down that side. So just evening that out a little bit. Right, so I'm going to get a bit more of the blue up there as well. Putting the blue up there kind of shows off the light at the ends of them just a bit as well. Right, that's okay if it goes on kind of heavy like that, because we can mash them in. Underneath still pretty wet, so that's fine. And I'm going to take a wee bit here, which I'll probably do again here, because I'm going to put a tree in here. I just want that path to look like it's going round there. That was just another wee thing I did. This, it was just to save time really. A little bit of light at the left hand side of the path where the light's coming in, and a little bit of shading at that side. And then mind your tree trunks, and I'm putting another one in here, so there'll be another shadow here. So the contrast to the shadows coming that way and the light coming that way is quite nice. It shows off the light coming down there even more, so you don't have to do big rays coming through. But in some cases you can leave a couple of little bits. I'll show you a little picture again, and I'll show you that closer up. So that's a little one. So we'll carry on. Just before I do any more bluebells, I'm going to just go up there and get a bit more sappy greens on my foliage up there, and I'll get that tree in as well. That'll be another thing done. So I'm going to take, for the tree, this one will be in silhouette, so the light will be behind this one because it will be sitting there. So the light's shining on those ones, so that's how they're lighter, and this one will be totally silhouette, so I'll just make this one darker. So it'll come about there, and it'll be right on this side of the path. So just make my brush a little darker with the ultramarine and the brown. This brush is quite soft, but it does give me a better line, so I'll just build on it until I get that. Don't want it too thick because it's further away as well. So lots of ultramarine and burnt umber. You can add purples in this as well. Purple's lovely on the trees, especially even after they're all darkened in like that. You can put purples and lilacs, and it's lovely, especially on this one for the bark. just want that a little bit thicker at the bottom. And a little bit darker too. So what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning my brush in between that, so that I'm not picking up. I will be picking up other colours as I go up there, so just got to keep that nice and dark. Right, so I can put plenty of foliage around the bottom of that, and also while I've got that as well, I can take a smaller brush, this one here, just a wee pointy brush, and take the brown and the blue, same thing, and this is probably quite an unusual looking tree, but there'll be branches up here. These are very soft brushes, but I don't want to use any of my rough brushes now in case it goes too thick and it messes up other things. Now what you can do with this as well, because it's quite, the kind of skinnier ones are kind of younger looking trees, so what you might get is little bits of young foliage just coming out there, just shooting out. So there you go. So up there, what I did as well, I did sharpen some of my lines up there. This was just to save a bit of time. But you can go back, it's pretty wet now, so we want those lines nice and sharp. If they're going to show through anything, we want them to be good. So you can spend a bit of time doing that, but I'll probably do that later. So what I'll do is get a few more of these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a flat brush. I'll take this flat brush now, kind of 1/2 inch one, and I'll get much more foliage in there. So I'm going to use a lot of my sap green now, and I'm just going to fill in a lot of areas with the sap green and a bit lower down as well. So you can see this light showing up more because this is getting darker and that's getting filled in darker as well, so your eye tends to go through there to the light. So once I've put these sort of bigger ones on, I'll show you with the smaller brushes, I say how to make them look a bit nicer and smaller. I want to just get a lot of coverage on the board at the moment. So this is my sap green. So I say sap green comes out nice and dark on its own with nothing on it. So it's good for the top. And that gives you your wee frame, because that was dark last night when I did that, but it's kind of dried in now. A bit more at the top. They weren't on that thick, to be fair. But if I start putting some of these on now and spread them, you'll see sometimes wee sort of lighter yellows coming off them. You can do this with a fan brush as well, but sometimes the fan brush is good, but sometimes I feel as if it makes everything look the same. So I'm going to go in now with some yellow just at the ends of them. And these ones here, you can just put some, use a corner of your brush, or you can go in with a pointy brush and just put some more on there. Back in with a bit more sap green. Want to sort of cover a lot of bits up there, that's like your frame. And quite a lot more at the other side as well. So as I say, you can go back and work on them, and you can use that smaller brush that I was using earlier, that one there. You can go back and make some of them a little bit smaller. And the shape of that brush, because it's kind of chiselled, it gives it a nice wee sort of leaf effect. And you can bring a few more of these further down. Get the sap green back onto some of these ones. Make sure they go over the middle of the tree as well. Alright, so I'll start working down this end of the page a bit more. I'll go back and make them a bit nicer later on. So this is our path here. So where you've done a tree, you want to get that shadow on the ground first. So I'm just going to go back to my flat brush. I'm going to use a little bit of brown, and I've got some purple made up on my board, and the purple you can just make it up with your ultramarine and magenta. That's quite nice, or if you've got a purple, that's even better. But ultramarine and magentas makes a lovely purple, and I always put a bit of brown in it to make it a bit more sort of mauve looking as well. So that's your tree going right across there. And because there's light there, it shows it up a bit more. And that's the shadow there for that one. So what I did there is I just put raw umber, burnt umber, sorry, that's darker, on there. And then I can darken some of my bluebells over that. Same thing there. Okay, so I've got some little gaps going on here. Let you see this a wee bit closer at this side now, just to get a bit more work done on these. Now, what did I do with that one? Yeah, you can put different colours in this, so you can make this nice and sharp. I'm just going to take the lilac off this brush now, and I tend to use a wee flat smoothie brush like this for everything, so it gives you nice wee edges as well. So I'm going to use burnt umber and a little bit of that bright red for up here, just to make this a little bit stronger. So I'm going up here with that. So even though I've got those nice strong hot colours going on there, when I get further down I'm going to go into some sap green and put some sap green on that as well, just to show it up a little bit. I'll put a little bit of yellow onto it, just to show the green a bit more. So there's already a wee sort of base of green on there. So what I'll do with that, I'm just going to clean my brush and I'll show you the little bits of lilac. Now there won't be much light shining on this, it should almost be silhouette, but because it's a bit closer to the eye, you can go down with little markings. That's just a bit of the lilac that I made up earlier with the white in it, and that just gives you, but don't lose the outline of the tree here when you're doing this. Just gives you a couple of little bits of bark going on. You can do a tiny little bit on the edge of that. That one's too far away. What you can do with that one, if you don't want it to be too strong, you can put little bits of lilac down the middle, and it keeps it still dark at both ends, and that's quite nice as well. It's a wee bit calmer to the eye. Okay, now I want to get this a little bit darker at the bottom. I'm going to get the burnt umber and the blue really dark. Now it's nice this, if you get this right, it's nice if you can, I'm going to put a bit of Payne's Grey on this as well, anything that's dark really. It's nice if you get this nice and dark, and you can use this as a wee platform to show up some of your bluebells sitting over it. And I'll show you one I did that with. That's it there, and it's got some of the little bluebells coming up. So if we get a chance, we'll put a few of them in. We'll see how that goes. It might be a wee bit too wet to work on, but we'll see. So I want it nice and dark. And this is your sort of feature tree, so you can make it a wee bit more detailed than that. Okay, so I'm going to put that brush down now. I'm going to show you a wee flat brush here. I'll give it a wee clean because it's got green on it, but I want to make it a bit lighter green than that. So I'm going to need a bit more sap green out actually. So there's lots of kind of limey greens going on, which that was sap green if you remember we started with. So I'm going to use lemon. I need to put more lemon out as well. Certainly went through the paint on this one. So I'm going to just make my sap green a bit lighter. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make these sort of platforms of the stalks, if you like, underneath some of these. And where they're green, like that, make them a bit brighter. Where they're green like that. What I did here, I did that with these ones here as well. I had a lighter green shown up. Might actually do that just to show them up. I can put a little bit of iridium in that. That's that strong green again. And it just kind of shows like wee stalks. And then I'll put another wee layer of bluebells in there. So these are getting a bit closer to us now, these ones. Just going to clean that brush, it's picked something up. You just need to watch your brush doesn't get muddy at all when you're doing the bluebells. It's got to be really clean just to do the bluebells. So I've practically dried my brush there, so this should just go on quite nicely now. What I'll do as well, I'll put a bit white base round about here to get these ones nice and light, because you are really only seeing the heads of them. And this kind of cuts through a bit of the path, or overlaps the path, which is quite nice as well. So if I just kind of do that in between them now, get them a little bit stronger. And I can also go in here with some pink as well. So I'm going to do another little bit of the stalks. So I'm using yellow and this viridian green, which is quite strong at the moment. You can leave little gaps as well. So what I'm doing, I'm just doing a little bunch of them at a time. Because as you come further down here, it'll start to get a bit more open. I'll put a few little blocks in here as well while I'm at it. I'll get the lemon on that. So one of the other things that's quite good to do this as well, you can pick up a little bit of your brown and just at the tops of them, almost like a wee line, I'll show you. Put a wee line across there and then just drag, drag, drag in between like that, and it gives you a wee bit of definition. And then you can put your white on. And then have your bluebell brush ready. That kind of spaces them out a little bit more. And then you can take a little bit more lemon, pull them down just a little bit more so that we can see them. And then go in with another little bunch of white there. Try not to make them look just in rows, maybe just do a little bunch there. What I'm going to give this brush a good clean because I've kind of lost the point on the brush now, there's that much paint in it. I'm just going to bring the camera a little closer so that you can see this bit. It's hard to see, the sun's at the back of the camera there, it's hard to see if you can see it all. It's maybe too close. Okay. Hard just to get this right. Right, so I'm going to bring some of these down there nice and light. So I did wee bases here, so that's quite nice for bringing up the bluebells as well, because you can do darker greens on it. Just when I've got a wee bit of that left, I can put some in between there. So this is your sort of lemon. It's probably a wee mixture now of sap green and the iridium, but that's okay. Iridium's a bit brighter, so it will show up bits in between the sap, which is quite nice. So a little bit in there. So you'll see much more green at this end of the picture now as you're coming to the front. So picked up the wrong brush there to do that. That's not good because I need my bluebell brush. Right, so I'm going to get more greens on there, and there's a wee bit under here as well. And it's quite good, as I say, if you get the greens and then put a tiny little bit of brown just at the top there. Pull them down as well. And then clean your brush a little bit and drag a bit more of the sort of yellowy green further down. Makes them look a bit more stocky. Then we can do another little bunch of white in there to get a few more bluebells. What I'm going to do here is just try and depict a few, because they're a bit closer up now. I'm going to moisten my brush a little bit so that I can use the point of it a bit more on this. So just doing wee sort of dashes now, but I can go back and work on them. Can actually use the pointy brush. Well, if I get a bit of time, we'll go over here and show you this as well. Okay, so we can do some more of these here as well, but I just wanted to show you a wee bit of these wee detailed ones here, but it might be a bit wet, we'll see. So I'm just going to use some white, just a small brush here, and I'm just going to use some white. Get a few wee stalks on there first. Put a little bit of greeny yellow into them. Okay. Now same little brush with the blue on it. That should be bluebells coming in. A little bit of white I think on my brush, which is great. I'm going to actually put another bit on because it's showing them up a bit better. So if you do that, you can actually put some more blue on them once they're on. You can sort of see where you're going with them. So see what I mean about the tree giving you a nice wee platform there to do that. So the ones that are light, I can go back in and put some dark on them. Got a couple wee whites to stand out first. And clean my brush, get all the white off now, and just put the pure blue on. And you're not covering them, you're just slicing a wee bit of blue on them. Get them nice and strong. So that's a few little bluebells there. But you can carry on doing a few more of these wee beds of bluebells going on here. You can do that sort of thing, and you can also just take the little brush and do some more of them. And you can just keep doing them as much as you want. When it's dry, it's going to be better to work on when that's dry. But just to finish a little bit of that off there, just going to do a little bit more out of bluebell. This is ultramarine I'm using for the bluebells. So I would go back in there and detail some of them a bit more. And if you want some bluebells to really stand out, like in between these darts, mine just put a little bit of white there first, and then you can put your bluebells on it. A bit more sparse now at this side, and a bit more in here. So just make sure all your wee beds of bluebells are in. A little bit more coming across. Keep your lights, don't interrupt your lights, so it's really good to get those shadows and light in. Even though these are in the light, there'll still be shadow at that side, so it's really important to get the shadows in there of those trees. Even though they're a bit lighter, they're still there. Yeah, and you could carry on doing your little path and your lights coming through there as well. Just get all your nice white. I tend to use my finger sometimes just to get extreme light coming in there. Some there. And keep your darks coming over there as well. So that path can be a wee bit darker, sort of coming through there, like that. And what you do is you just take a wee bit of white on your finger or your brush and just kind of smooth them in and out one another, like that. And that gives you all the different wee tones through the path. And I'm just going to finish off now by doing an extra little bit of light just on the end of this tree where it's sticking out. And I think that should do that. That shows up the lilac a little bit more as well. But you could go on with it doing lots and lots of details, and I'm sure you will. So just have a wee look at that now. Okay, so that's your picture. Sure. Alright, so enjoy. Hope you enjoyed that. Bye bye.